An NFL insider is all in on the 2025 Chicago Bears. Plus, we have a JK Dobbins update as he has been linked to Chicago at points throughout the offseason. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. We'll touch on both of those storylines here, but I'm actually on a half day today. I'm going on a little mini vacation, going to head down to the beach here in Texas. I want to know from you guys, are you going on vacation this summer? And if you are, where are you going? If you're not, just say, nah, no vacation, no big deal. But let me know what your travel plans are. Would love to hear from all of you. Okay, Adam Schefter is in on the Chicago Bears. He detailed the new look Bears on NFL Live yesterday, and thought I would kind of rehash that and give my thoughts and my spin as well. Here's what he had to say. He said, Ben Johnson talked about all the time he spent with Caleb Williams this offseason as he was trying to marry their minds together to think alike. Everything the Bears have done this offseason seems designed to get the best out of Caleb Williams. They hire Ben Johnson. They surround him with an assistant coaching staff to elevate Caleb Williams. They then go out, trade for 3 offensive linemen, really 2 plus sign Drew Dalman, but get the point there, to fortify a leaky offensive front to protect Caleb Williams. Then they use 2 top draft picks in Colston, Loveland, and Luther Burden to give Caleb more weapons. He's got the coaches. He's got the line. He's got the weapons. They are doing everything they can to make sure he fulfills his potential. And this is something we've talked about. Adam Schefter is absolutely right. You can't really bitch and complain about really anything the Bears have done this offseason. They rebuilt the offensive line, especially the interior here, with the additions of Joe Thuney, Drew Dalman, and Jonah Jackson. Thuney, a clear upgrade from the Tevin Jenkins / backups that had to play because he was hurt all the time. Drew Dalman, a clear upgrade over Coleman Shelton. Jonah Jackson, even if he's not great, is going to be solid and certainly better than Nate Davis and Matt Pryor, at least one would think. So you've got that going on. You mentioned the draft pick additions as well. Not a lot of people thought the Bears would go with the skill guy in the first round. They go take Colston Loveland. Some thought running back, but that didn't work out. Colston Loveland there. You get Luther Burden in the second round. I'll add out Ozzie Trapillo, who I think's got a pretty good chance to be the starting left tackle. Now, if you wanted to, mention one thing, like, well, they didn't do this, they probably would have preferred to add a running back earlier in the draft, but you can't do it all, right? And if you do that, you probably don't get Luther Burden. So it's kind of a give and a take there. But the improved offensive line and better coaching should improve the run game. Obviously, you don't want Caleb in this offense to have to be one-dimensional. Ben Johnson's offenses in Detroit were very balanced. Despite all of the weapons around Caleb on the outside, ideally you're not throwing 40, 45 times per game. But if you have to do that, you've got the weaponry to do so. I think there is a very good chance that Caleb's numbers are going to take a big jump. Now, if they are balanced and they do run the ball effectively and better than last year, there may not be the amount of dropbacks he had last year, but the efficiency should jump up significantly, which should lead to an increase in completion percentage, passing yards, so on and so forth. More touchdowns, all of that as well. So I think he should take a notable jump. I just do. Even if the run game isn't great, if it's at least league average, the protection's going to be better, the offensive scheme is going to be better. Might take a few weeks. Ben Johnson said the other day, we got 4 games in the bye. Coming out of that bye week, we should, really start to hit our stride. So even he's acknowledging it might take a few games to kind of ease into this thing to start clicking. But, once you get into October there, week 6, week 7, you should feel pretty good about the direction of Caleb and this offense overall. I agree with Schefter completely. The weaponry is there. The coaching is there. Caleb's got the talent. Now it's about going out there and doing it this season. If not by week 1, at least by, week 6, week 7. Through the rest of the year. Fill in the blank for us. Take a prediction. Caleb Williams will play like a top blank quarterback in 2025. Top 10, top 15, top 5. It needs to at least be top half of the league. You need to get out of this season at minimum where you've got a top half of the league, a solid starter in place. Ideally, he flirts with being a top 10 guy. If he does that, you're feeling really good about the future of this franchise. Okay, we'll talk a little JK Dobbins here in a second, but first, we are sponsored by Prize Picks. Listen, Championships on the line. Final series of the basketball playoffs gets going tonight, and it's time to put your money where your mouth is and cash in. Set lineups of 2 or more players and pick more or less on the several stats available: points, rebounds, assists, combo stats, three-pointer, steals, blocks, and a whole lot more. You can do other sports as well. You can have different sports within your lineup. All you need to qualify for a lineup is at least 2 players on 2 or more different teams, and you are good to go. You can win up to 2,000x your entry on certain lineups. That's right. You can turn $10 into 20,000. Little 3-player lineup right here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Take the more on his points, rebounds, assists. Took the less on Tyrese Halliburton in that same points, rebounds, assist category there. And then give me the more on Siakam's points there. Little 6x entry on this one, but a lot of different lineups, options, players available for you guys. Check it out. And by the way, got a little deal for you. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. If you use the code CLNS when you first sign up and make your first lineup of at least $5, you just got to play for $5. Doesn't matter if you win or lose that lineup. They are going to put an additional $50 into your account to play with, so you have some extra darts to throw. Okay, Tom Pelissero had the report yesterday that JK Dobbins is heading to Denver tonight, which was last night, which means he's meeting with them more today at the Broncos facility. The dynamic Dobbins, that's agent talk there. He's a little dynamic. Had over 1,000 total yards last year. Now could land with an AFC West contender. And Denver was the team I mentioned when we were talking a lot about Chubb and Dobbins. Like, what are some teams that could use another running back? It was Chicago and Denver, right? Because Denver drafted R.J. Harvey, but they lost Javonte Williams. They don't really have that second guy to go with the rookie out of UCF, and Dobbins could fill that void. And look, if you're the Bears and you're interested, you're probably going to have to jump in soon, right? Because if that visit goes well in Denver, I would imagine a signing takes place shortly after that. But if the Bears, got on the phone with his agent and was like, hey, don't sign there right away, we'd love to bring you in for a visit too, I'm sure he would consider that. Dobbins, good player when he's healthy. He's had a ton of injuries. We've outlined that on this show. Last year was mostly healthy. Had a pretty good season with the Chargers. Kind of teetered off toward the end. He came out of the gates hot and heavy. Had back-to-back 100-yard games. Never hit 100 yards the rest of the year, but kind of split carries in L.A., which I think is a proper role for him given his injury history. You don't want to give him 25 touches per game or anything like that. My take on this, though, or my thought is I don't think the Bears are in a rush to add a running back. I don't think they're looking at this news like, oh, we better get JK in the building. Like, if he signs with Denver, I think they're like, oh, okay. Like, that's fine. We're not going to, change our timeline that I believe they have to go out and sign JK Dobbins. I think they want to see what this room looks like. I think they really like DeAndre Swift. They've been vocal about that. I think Ryan Poles, who has said this, I'm not sure exactly how Ben feels about him, but I think they at least somewhat feel like they could still squeeze more out of Roschon Johnson here as he enters year 3. They did draft Kyle Monungai in the 7th round. By the way, Ian Wheeler was back at practice at minicamp this week, so it appears that he has been cleared from his torn ACL. Maybe they want to see what he looks like when the pads come on. That's kind of what I think. I think their plan is to get to training camp, have the pads go on, and see what the first couple of weeks look like, right? Training camp will likely start late July. Maybe they get through one preseason game, see what that group looks like, and if they're underwhelmed, if they don't like what they see after DeAndre Swift, maybe then they go add a veteran if a Nick Chubb or if a Dobbins is still available or whatever the case may be. But I don't get the sense, right now at least, maybe some reporting will come out after minicamp or next week's final OTA of interest in a running back, but I don't get the sense that they're in a rush there. I think they're intrigued by the group they have, and they want to see what things look like when the pads go on. What say you? If you were in charge, would you be more interested in kind of accelerating that timeline? Do you think the Bears need to sign a running back? Type S for sign, P for pass. I don't think they need to. I do think there's a scenario where they will feel like they should add one later on, but part of this could be, too, is like they don't want to sign someone now and then a higher level player that they are interested in maybe becomes available as a surprise cut or on the trade market. So I think they're going to have a patient approach here. They probably don't view these free agent options as like a must-have right now. If they're available in mid-August, cool. If not, no harm, no foul. So that's my take on it. We'll see where it goes. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's show. Like I said, I'm traveling today. I will have a mini camp wrap up or winners and losers, some kind of final mini camp breakdown, probably on the channel tomorrow. Maybe tonight, but probably tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that as I am traveling today. But we got you guys covered. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you know when that video goes out, and we'll see you guys soon. Bear down.